because I was curious to check out Fear Street Prom Queen, I recently went and watched Fear Street Part 1 and I quite enjoyed it, particularly the second half of the film, so I decided it was time to watch Fear Street Part 2. This is Fear Street Part 2 1978. It was released in 2021. All three of the first three parts, well, the main three parts, were all released in July of 2021, which I thought was a really interesting and kind of unique decision. And when I first learned that, I kind of thought, does this mean they're going to be rushed? The quality's not going to be very good because they churned them out back to back. But actually, based on the first one and now the second one, I don't think that's an issue at all. This one is directed by Lee Janiak, and we have a screenplay from Janiak and Zach Olkowitz with a cast including Sadie Sink, Emily Rudd, Ryan Simpkins, McCabe, Slye, and various others. And the performances are very good. I don't think the story is... well, no. I think the narrative progression, and the more we learn about it as viewers and the deeper we can understand what's happening, I think that's better. The world building is definitely stronger. But in terms of being an interesting narrative, I don't know. I don't know if I think it's as good as the first film, or maybe not quite as good. But in general, it still worked really well. And I guess there may be spoilers for the first part as I discuss what's happening with this, but I won't spoil ultimately what happens in this film. This is, of course, set in Shadyside in 1978. And this one is actually set at a camp. And as I said with the first film, it does feel more like a teen horror, and this one feels even more like a teen horror, which is not necessarily a criticism. It's just worth bearing in mind that if you're not a huge fan of teenage-based horrors, that's worth bearing in mind. I also don't think this one's as scary as the first film. I don't think the horror was as strong, but it still has a really good atmosphere, and I love the music. The lighting wasn't as good in this film, but it wasn't horrendous, and I think building on the story for us as viewers to understand things better, I thought worked really well, because obviously in the first film, we learn that there are a lot of murders in Shadyside because of this curse, and we dig a little bit deeper into this one, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work with this one being set much earlier than the 1994 one, but actually it does work really well, and I think the narrative structure is quite impressive, and I thought it worked in a way that I wasn't really sure about, and I was quite happy with that. So the narrative is well written, the pacing is good, we learn a lot about this curse and what might or might not be happening. It's not as scary as the first film, it's not as gory. Granted, the first film's not the most gory, but there is one moment in it that I just absolutely loved, and there wasn't a moment like that in this film, one particular standout moment, but it still worked well. The atmosphere was good, the characters were interesting, the story is very well written. And I'm really, really excited to watch the third one. The third one is Fear Street Part 3, 1666. And I'm really curious to see what they do with that one. I'm rather excited to find out about that one. So I will find out in due course, probably within the next couple of days. I watched Fear Street Part 1 and Part 2 within 2 days. And I think I'll check out Part 3 very quickly as well. Do I recommend this? Absolutely. Watch Part 1 first. I think that's the best way to do it. And if you liked Part 1, I'd say check this out. If you didn't love Part 1, you still might like this because we have a very different setting. We have different characters. So it does feel a little different while still presenting elements of the same story or the same curse. So I think that was a really good decision. And I think it works really well. So I have a lot of praise for this. Really looking forward to 1666. I think even if I don't like the next one, which I'm not predicting to be the case, I think I'll enjoy it. Even if I don't, I'll still watch Prom Queen. So I will watch all 4 of them. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with Part 1 and Part 2. And if you haven't seen the first one, thoroughly recommend it. Really recommend the second one as well. And I'm looking forward to watching the third one.